So welcome to the next wildlife instalment, showing you what's been going on around the garden and the fields and the woods around the studio and the house here over the past month. So I'm here with Deirdre, who's helping with some of the video stuff.
Hello.
Say hi, Deirdre. And we're going to be showing you some of the things that we've been seeing round and about. And we're looking forward to this because spring's really underway. We're able to see some of the young animals emerging, and the birds are nesting, and some of the migrant birds are coming back as well. So join us and you'll see what we've been watching. So if you've been enjoying the programmes and want to hear a bit more about wildlife and painting techniques, remember to like and subscribe the channel, and that really helps us, so thanks very much. So this is great. We've been having a look at the badger set, just 100 yards or so away from the house here, and we've got a cub which we've got some footage of, so we're just going to go over and show you some of that now. Really, we started seeing the badger cub about the end of March when it was quite small, and just the face appearing in the entrance to the set. And then after a few weeks it started to accompany the adult to the edge of the burrow, and then, as you can see, started to come out. And we found there are several badgers using the entrance to the set here, and that's quite usual for a clan of badgers. There's probably one dominant male and several aunties who are looking after the cubs, and there might be 2 or even 3 of the sows who are having cubs themselves, but they tend to sort of help out a little bit. And the entrance here, we found that there were at least 6 adult badgers using the entrance in, and then multiple exits out. And you can see that the badger cub got really interested in whatever anybody was doing, and would try and join in and help with a bit of scratching and pulling around. And after a few weeks, the mother, I think, was off a lot more. You can see her up on the top right here, just wandering off. And that left the cub unattended, really to just play on its own a little bit. And it was just hanging around the edge of the set. Sometimes there'd be a bit of a noise and it would run off underground. And then through the night, one of the other badgers would come back from foraging, and it would come out and have a bit of a chat and see, what are you doing, and give them a bit of a tug and a chew, and make friends with them. And this is how really the cubs socialise with the rest of the clan, and it was great to see. So the set here is actually, it's dug into what's an old tumble down wall, with a fence line going through it, and of course the fence is rotten and the wire's fallen over, and it's ideal. It's sort of light soil to dig in, and the badger cubs started to play around with the soil and start digging, and then helping its mother as well, bringing in fresh bedding, although to be honest it doesn't seem to be helping very much, does it? So as you see, it's just one cub, and you can see the cub emerging from the set as the weather gets a bit warmer in the evenings, and beginning to explore and being a real pest to its mother, as you can see, climbing on its back and tugging at her fur. So yeah, it's pretty typical of most youngsters out and about, isn't it?
And is that normal, just to have the one cub?
Yeah, well, usually it's 2 or 3, so I don't know what the problem's been this year, if it's been very cold and dry and they've had trouble finding food, but the cub we've seen looks really healthy and happy, so we'll keep an eye on it and see how it gets on over the next couple of months. The next few weeks is really important for the young badger. It's going to start accompanying its mother around the fields and the woods round about the set, learn about places that it can successfully hunt, and learn how to become a successful young badger. But it's a slightly dangerous time as well. There's lots of roads and cars round about, so we'll keep an eye on it and see how it gets on. One thing we've been very excited to see nearby, and not close to the house here, it's quite some distance away, but it's in this general area is pine marten turning up on some of our trail cams, and that's very unusual. They were nearly extinct in this country just a few decades ago, but they've really come back. So this is very exciting. I didn't know they were there, but we'll have a little look at the pine marten appearing on the trail cams. And just for scale, that's one of the local badgers going past the same camera, stopping to mark territory and snuffling around and moving on. And look at this, is the pine marten, and compared to the badger, it's about the same size from tip of nose to tail. That's about 4.5 foot. That's a big creature. And from another angle, here it is, it's wondering what the camera is, and coming in, we reckon because of the size it's a big adult male, perhaps exploring new territory. And that's just amazing to see. So that's amazing, isn't it, the pine marten?
Incredible. And why did they disappear in the first place?
They were wiped out due to what they call persecution. So they took game birds, and of course they quite often get into hen houses and things like that. So they were not welcome, and sadly, historically, they were really eradicated by gamekeepers and land managers. I don't know how many pine martens there are in Scotland, but I know they're really extending into lots of other areas. So they're getting over to some of the islands where they've, as far as we know, never been before. So Mull and Skye. And Skye, they got over there on the bridge. They crossed the bridge to get over to Skye. And on Mull, we're not sure how they got there, but we think maybe they got over on one of the transportation barges that was taking forestry logs back and forward across the short sound between the island and the mainland.
And are they just as unpopular today?
With many people they are, yes. So we keep chickens, and that's beginning to get a bit of a concern because they're very agile and quite strong, and they can get into chicken pens that were, designed to keep out foxes and ferrets and weasels and things like that. And yeah, I would say they are equally unpopular amongst gamekeepers, but generally I hope that most gamekeepers are a lot more tolerant now than they used to be, but I can understand their frustrations and concerns.
And what do you like about them?
What I like about pine martens? Well, one of the things I like is that they are a sign that many parts of our ecosystem are returning. So, we have a suite of wildlife and ecology here, which has been quite significantly unbalanced by intrusive destruction and unsympathetic management. So it's good to see them back. And as a predator, they're an important part of the ecosystem. One thing they do in places that they come back is they seem to be able to control the numbers of grey squirrels, which of course are a problem for the red squirrel population. So red squirrels are small, agile, and when they're trying to evade pine martens which are hunting them, they go out onto the little wispy, little tiny branches where the pine martens can't reach them. The grey squirrels are bigger and more clumsy. They can't get out onto those little lightweight branches and avoid the pine martens as well. So there seems to be a bit of a rebalancing there, which may be helpful to the red squirrels. Time will tell. Anyway, that wraps up the thing about the badgers and the trail cams that we've got. So remember to have a look at the other videos at the end of this one, and you can see some other things which are out and about here in April.